Hey. Yay. Hi. I just got here. What are you doing? You are number one. Andy Bell in the house. So much snow. So much snow. Oh my gosh, it was glorious. Right now there's a skid steer and a bunch of kids, 34 young men, probably under age 16, and they're having a snowball fight, and they're having a great time. I went and I said, "What's up?" And I was like, I know you better be getting paid for this. I had a couple ones. I was like, "Thanks for doing what you do. It's fun." They're like, "Yo, that's what's up." I was like, "I know, man." Yeah, they're having a good time. I can hear them playing and slipping on ice, and it's kind of delightful. This is the first time that I have lived densely in a really, really, really long time. Like, to have neighbors on each side of me in the same building, and like a parking lot, and like in a town. It's like a towny town. There's like stuff. It's a small town, but like it's dense, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Like walking down the street, literally down the street, because the sidewalks aren't clear yet with Kinga, and just like saying hi to people. So many people live on my block, and I cannot wait to frickin' meet them, at least for the first time. I'm sure I'll be like, one was enough. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. Cheers. Thanks for coming over. I may or may not give it a minute. Woohoo! Yeah. In here, there is Dandelion, Burdock, holy basil, oat straw, because I need my nervous system cereal, and rose, and Gotu Kola. And we're going to talk about some of those plants. I had an idea, and now that I'm looking at the homies that are here. So, I wrote this not big, I don't know, I think it's like 5 pages, but it's not a dense read. I kind of was reminded of like science and technical writing when I was putting this together. So, biologist, mystic, Lucia. I look at patterns, right? And I've been looking at patterns for a really long time. We don't need to spend a lot of time talking about that. But patterns, observations, data, quantitative, qualitative. How lucky are we sometimes? Doesn't feel like luck. To be this sensitive antenna that can perceive so much information. Right? So part of what I do is I look at pattern stuff. For me, like I just do this anyway. And what I did for us, I did it last month and I did it again. I spent a lot of time yesterday and my surprise snow day. Just looking at stuff in February. Not that like February's a month, like yeah, that's how we measure time, but like looking at the overlapping lunar cycles and looking just at the energies present, right? And also looking at the time of year and where a lot of us live, and then the collective things and things that are happening in our collective as like national, a country made up of many, many states. Anyway, so looking at all of that, and I wrote up a thing and I put it on Patreon. And I think if you're a root, stem, or seeker, you can read it. And then it's like there forever for you to read. Oh, dude, I got some new cannabis and it kind of gives me cotton mouth. Hold on. My least favorite, sometimes side effect. Where was I? So I wrote up this thing and I wasn't going to spend a lot of time on it. I'm pretty sure, Ian, you should be a patron saint. We got like 8 patron saints of Madaraki Pharmacy right now, and I'm super grateful and excited. I'm especially excited to see, oh, thanks. I'm really I'm excited to like get feedback and like you tell me what you want me to do there is going to be fun. Thanks. I learned how to braid my hair when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. I used to ride horses. I went to Timber Edge Farm for like a summer camp, like 2 weeks every summer. It's in Horsham, Pennsylvania. I don't know if it's still there. I drove by it the other day, actually. And I learned how to French braid my hair. I don't know if that was before or after I learned how to braid on a horse, which is really cool. But I would always French braid my hair because, you wear a helmet and then, I like was shaving my head and having mohawks for the past like 20 years. And I remember this day this summer, and I was kind of anxious. I was definitely anxious. I was ornery, I think. Definitely ornery right now. And I remember standing in the driveway and kicking a ball for Kinga, and I started braiding my hair. And it really brought me that sensory experience helped of just like feeling my hair in my hands and picturing how I was moving these groupings of hair it centered me. And it didn't calm me down, but it gave me a context and a nudge to really notice how I was fucking upset, man. Like I was having an emotional experience that was kind of intense and I wasn't enjoying, and my body was very uncomfortable, and the act of braiding my hair brought more of a focused attention to that, so I could pay attention to myself and not fix it or like get rid of it. But it was a really nice, I don't know how long, maybe 10 minutes of like, oh wow, I am really fucking uncomfortable. And I knew that I was, but it shifted it for me. It was like, okay, I'm gonna like actually be in this discomfort. I'm gonna braid my hair. I'm gonna pay more attention to how I'm breathing. I'm gonna maybe not be in this so much, and like I'm not gonna ask myself a shit ton of questions or try and like rush to the solution, but like, all right, I'm braiding my hair. I don't want to be uncomfortable, but I am, and it was a fun little trip. It was an adventure. I forget where it went. I forget the journey, but I remember that it started with braiding my hair. The water here, I don't know, my hair is changing. I don't know if it's also, I'm 37 and a half. I don't know these things. Hair's also just getting longer. I should start making a conditioner. All right, so I was looking at the big patterns of things. And yes, I want you to go to Patreon and I want to shift things there, and it'll be really great. But there are a couple of things that I do want to mention, especially for you homies. So I probably repeat myself, and I probably repeat myself because I have a niche. I have a very consistent intention, a very consistent bigger picture. I have a lane, and I decided, I don't know, at some other point in the summer, maybe that day when I was braiding my hair, that I really wanted to stay in my lane, and really master what it is that I do and that I'm good at, which includes looking at these patterns. I wrote a couple things. Okay, so when we're looking at the planets, and when we're looking at plants, when we're looking at ourselves, when we're just fucking checking it out, when we're noticing what thank you, when we're seeing what the fuck is going on, what other people are doing, we are programmed to measure patterns. That's a human program. That's like innate evolutionary biology kind of stuff, right? Like we interact with our environment seeking understanding. And part of that is noticing what goes on and what tends to go on and when. And I don't know, I'll try and think of a more tangible example. But the reason I talk about the planets, and I use that as a context, so I go from the planet down to our bones, down to the bones of the earth, down to the bones of our days, right? Because it's all really the same. Different languages, different symbols on symbols for really the same things. And it's not love and light. And it's not some of the really, really watered down, forgetting the whole picture stuff. Like, yes, it is vibrational. Yes, it is energy. Yes, your thoughts create your reality. Yes, like all those things are true. And there's no one right way to look at all of it. But like, yo, fucking pay attention. Like, look at stuff. Be curious. We're naturally, innately, as mammals, as organisms, as living beings, to notice patterns and to group things. And this does not mean that we compartmentalize too much or that we separate too much. Wasn't where I thought I was going with that. But so we look at these whole big pictures on down through all these levels of all these things that interest us and around us, or that we notice, that we have a calling, or just, like, I don't know, like, I fucking like basket weaving. Like, it doesn't have to be a big explanation why. You fucking dig it. Cool. Do it. I do that because I can't really help. It's just how I look at stuff. And that is part of being a biologist, and that is part of being a mystic, for sure. That's the overlap. But these big pictures that we also can see in our day-to-day, we're integrating all these different things. And we're integrating all these different things because that's kind of like the point, I think, of being here and being in a really hard, dense, difficult, nonsensical, fucking savage world. That's also really beautiful. We look at the planets and we bring it on down to the plants and the stuff that we do in our lives. We're anchoring it in, right? Like, we are a container. I refer to our bodies as spaceships. Or a sacred vessel, or a container. I also am like, fucking meat bag, man. Like, just a meat bag. Runs on electricity. It's wild. Cogs and wheels. However you want to think about it. But a spaceship. We're a container for all of these things. All the ideas, all the energies, all the archetypes, all the choices that we make. Right? Our choices are really powerful. And ultimately, it's all we have. Right? So looking at these big patterns, and, people want to get kind of anchoring in the meat bag. Yeah, I mean, that's really what I talk about. We talk about decreasing the suck and increasing the rad, and a lot of anchoring in the meat bag. Keeping it real informal and real accessible. Someone needs to write all this stuff down. I had hold on. I found a gift card to Staples, and one of the things that I got was all of the sticky notes. You should see my apartment right now. I also have butcher paper that I bring out and I cut it, and I make mind maps and calendar maps, and one day you're all gonna have to come on over and see. I would love that. We could have a tea party. Yeah, we're the equivalent of making a battery out of a potato. Definitely. Some people are the batteries made out of lemons. I'm a fucking tater battery. Definitely. Definitely. We look at these things and we bring it down into something that makes sense and that is tangible and that feels good and right for us, because that is our birthright. It's also how we unfuck the world up a little bit, friends, right? Because we can't do anything that we're not really looking at. And we're always looking at it, and it's going to change, and there is no end. The pursuit of wholeness, whatever that means, must include looking at all these moving parts. And that includes the moving parts of ourselves, right? It's why we find that bravery to do the shadow work. It's why we go inside and look at all the internalized fucked up shit. Like, where are we racist? Where are we anti-Semitic? Where are we sexist? Where? Because somehow that stuff gets into us, right? And we do this in relationship. And for many of us in relationship, like, I think especially in American culture, we talk about this sometimes, like the huge significance that's put on finding one person, one partner for your whole life, and like that is like the most important relationship. That's such a measure of success and health in our culture, to a lot of folks, to a lot of people. And I'm not saying that is wrong. I am saying that there are multiplicities. There are so many other options and so many other very real, significant, impactful, meaningful, delicious, beautiful, very significant relationships other than that one. And also, people don't exactly have like the best track record for being super safe. And for some of us, that is absolutely our truth and reality. So relationship with planets, relationship and stars and rocks and meteors and other galaxies and like, the Star Wars galaxy, I just say the planets and like things not on Earth, the celestial stuff. Having those relationships with planets, with plants, with art, with music, with hobbies, with water, with air, with fire. We don't even really talk about elements. With potatoes, with electricity, with dogs. We are constantly in relationship with everything all the time. And I advise a consistent review and reassessment of those relationships, right? Because things change and we grow so much within relationship. And not just another person. The relationship with ourselves. Damn. Psh. Fuck. So, I'll pause. I can kind of see in my head how I'm weaving all these things together. So, if you're like down with Celtic stuff, or your family's from Ireland or Scotland, or that's part of your also just like your paganness or like your mystical life or whatever, paganity. It's Imbolc. February, or like the 31st of January to February 2nd. But right now, we're at the midpoint between winter and spring. And St. Bridget is there, and it's a fire festival, and of course, light your candles. And it's also called Candlemas. It's one of the points in the wheel that a lot of people in a couple different cultures and lineages observe and practice. And cultural appropriation is not cool. And also, like, light a freaking candle, okay? Think about returning to the light. That's respectful. It's okay to participate, even if you're not Irish. That's my take. Let me just say that. I'm gonna fucking piss somebody off. Which also had me thinking. So Imbolc means in the belly, or the original word means in the belly. And, I like words and whatever. In the belly. And then, of course, has like tons of obvious meaning, right? Like, we're going into spring. We're talking about agrarian culture and society. So, like, absolutely preparing for seeding and sowing and growing and breeding animals and all these things. For anyone else who this is cool and you're interested, another way to think about it, and this is what came up for me, and I wrote about it, and please go read it. I like what I wrote. I hope you do too. We'll touch on it here, but your belly, your belly, your core, this, like, the center of you, the spaces between your heart and your roots, your heart and your love and your bumping, thumping, and your creative, erotic energy. That's the belly. It's where we digest. It's where we process everything that we bring into us. It's where we remove waste. and filter shit out. It's where some of us grow another freaking human. Wow. 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 Something to think about. Our belly has its own brain, man. The gut-brain connections are well documented. Science is rad. The things that happen in the belly. I know I say this a lot. Every week I'm like, root in. Root in. Every month I'm like, hey, root in. Root in. Remember when we were talking about roots? And we learned that the word for that first little root that comes off the seed is called a radicle. I am focusing on being a radical right now. Not right now, because I gotta shed. There's some shit that needs to go. We're moving into dark moon. Release some stuff. Absolutely. And have your eyes on that new moon time. Next week, Aquarius, rebellion, innovative. We got Saturn, we got Jupiter, we got the Sun, we got Mercury retrograde, and Venus all in Aquarius. And then the moon joins in Aquarius next Thursday. Look into Aquarian energies and themes. I wrote about it, but it's innovation. It's the collective. It's a lot of things. It's angel aliens. It's so much. The weirder the better. Absolutely. So we're at this halfway. I'm going to try and put it all together. Our choices matter. We're on a grand adventure. Right now we happen to be halfway between winter and spring. We're coming out of the dark. We're also going into the dark, where all these things are coexist. It's cycles within cycles within cycles, okay? We're going into the dark. This is a great time to release and let go, especially Mercury retrograde. Review, reassess, reinvent, restructure, reorganize, repair, rest, rejuvenate. Focus on the re. Don't listen to the pop astro bullshit, fear-mongering shenanigan shit, okay? Don't. Take the re of retro. It's review. We got Venus hanging out. The things we value. How we love. What we love. Oh, Saturn, the taskmaster. External structures, responsibilities, ownership, discipline. Jupiter expanding, growing, seeking. All of these things are all sitting together in the sky. All of these archetypes, all this energy, all these personalities. This is why we look at the planets and we bring it on down to the bones of our days, right? Yeah, cute. Right? We can't do anything about it. None of these things are out to get you. But we can look at the patterns, well-established patterns. Personalities, prototypes, whatever, vibes, whatever, freaking however you want to look at it. So that we can work with it. So that we can decrease the suck and increase the rad. So that we can be a radical. So that we can be an active participant in the fucking chaos. So that we can live a life on purpose. So that we can deepen, expand, or maybe even get rid of some of the ways we relate to all these things and ourselves. And that's what I would like to think Meraki Pharmacy is. That's a big part of it, right? And the plants. So, I'm going to go to the plants. Here are the plants that I think are super helpful all the time. And plants are going to come across you. They're going to find you somehow and listen to them. But here are the plants in particular that I already am working with and I'm going to work with through the rest of the month and into the next lunar cycle. So like February is February. We have new moon next Thursday, which I think is the 11th, I don't know. And then full moon Virgo at the end of the month. Like that is like, seed a lot of dreams. Seed a lot of dreams. I think it is a very, very important, potent, supported time to dream the biggest dreams you could ever dream and imagine all the possibilities you could possibly imagine without proof, especially in how we relate to each other, in how we build community, how we sustain community, how we do that in a growing and disciplined, tangible way, right? Be in your, I rarely ever say this, be in your head, expand your consciousness. If cannabis or psilocybin or things like that, or mugwort, Gotu Kola, I don't know, whatever, I would get almost as intellectually uncomfortable as you possibly can. Whatever you normally read or watch or listen to, maybe like swing to the other end, or just, not that I'm not into dual or polarities, but like they're all like, just go out there. In here, go so far out there and be open and observe, maybe like definitely like take notes, expand your perspective. Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like that is super important. I think I'm not advocating for drug use, but like, I don't know, do you make informed, responsible choices, whatever helps expand your consciousness, meditate for freaking hours, do hot yoga, go outside, any of the things. That's really important. And I highly recommend Mugwort for this too. For dreams and visions and imagination and connecting to the innate wildness, and especially your wild, untamable, independent, free from conditioning nature, so that you can imagine what is possible for us, what's possible for your community, what's possible for your family, what's possible for how we grow food, what's possible for how we implement laws, what's possible in how we work and how we exchange resources. Okay? Cool. And the other side of that, right, is I'm really encouraging you to spend a lot of time imagining and dreaming up. Also, it's got to get rooted in. You got to root it into the meat bag, which means your meat bag is, you got to have some kind of relationship with your body. Comfrey flower essence, blue vervain, massage, Damiana, Burdock. Burdock has been very loud and very clear. Dandelion, literally, physically, energetically, anything that grounds you. Really sturdy up. Send a little radical from your core into your day-to-day and into the things that support you, while also exploring new possibilities. That feels super, super important. It's more or less what I wrote about, and I wanted to share it. Some other plants, too, because there's also, like, Venus is in Aquarius, and there's Valentine's Day, and, like, fuck Amazon and fuck Hallmark, but, like, yo, I'll celebrate love and romance and beauty and platonic love and sex and sensual pleasure and, that's another thing. Enjoy your sensory experiences as much as you possibly can. All right, rose. Also, not for nothing, there's a shit ton of rose products in the pharmacy. There's vinegar that you can use as a tincture, make a salad dressing. You can do anything with rose vinegar. There's rose balm. There's rose witch hazel. There's rose and loon love. Other things heart related, there's Hawthorn and there's Motherwort. I got a sacred heartship kit that's pretty dope. There's hyssop and rose hips. So rose hips is the fruit of a rose. Massage with some mugwort before you go to bed. Do it with your loves. Do it alone. Do it with a stranger. Just make good choices. Rose. I keep meaning Damiana is going to root you into your erotic creative energy, which is always rad. And I think especially now, right? Because if we're going to spend a lot of time up here and out there expanding our consciousness and imagining new possibilities and restructuring and reinventing and reassessing and all these things, we're going to be really, really heady. We want that creative flow. Psh, tap right in there. Yeah. And Damiana is a fantastic ally for that. And there's a bit of Damiana in Loon Love, and then there's tinctures available. Mugwort also cannot. I think it's always a great time to work with Mugwort. Going into the Aquarian new moon, I think it's a particularly delicious lunar cycle to hang out with Mugwort. And there's balm, there's oil, there's tinctures and apple cider vinegar, and also alcohol. And if you want to I didn't make a kit up on the website, but if you're I want one of each way to work with Mugwort, just DM me and we can do it, and it's not a big deal. You can Venmo, I mail it to you. It's great. Gotu Kola is a mild nervine and also helps with focus in the brain. There's a tea blend. There's tinctures of that too. And again, blue vervain really, really helps embody and pull things down when we need to. Those were the things that felt really important in terms of just the month of February, the month of February. Because I don't know if I'm going to do another tea time on Instagram. So I wanted to give you as much information. The libido of an eraser. I don't know, if you rub an eraser long enough, it gets pretty hot. Fantastic. Yeah, I would definitely spend time. Pleasure is also the birthright. Have sensual times. And that doesn't just have to be sex, right? You ever touch fucking flower petals, man? You ever go outside? Talk about a sexy, sensual experience. I thought I was cold. I thought I was hot, and then I realized I was cold. This thing might be a little too dense for inside. This sweater. So, that's what I got. I would really like to chat in a Zoomy kind of way so that we can see each other and actually talk. I want to do that experiment, and I'm thinking next Thursday. So if anyone has any opinion, or if a day of the week or a time works better for the homies that I know will actually come and will do stuff, let me know. Yeah, I definitely want to do a Zoomy kind of the way. Yeah, barefoot in dirt in the middle of winter is the most sensual experience ever. Jumping in the ocean. Yeah, that's another thing that I wrote in there. It's whatever you're doing, and I guess this is the point of mindfulness, but whatever you're doing, really do it. You're doing dishes, fucking be there doing the dishes. You're walking outside with your kids or your dog or yourself or whatever. Really be walking outside. Yeah. Have a good time with your meat bag. Yeah. All the dactas in the house. So, yeah. What do you got for me? Very chill. I don't know if I don't want to blame algorithms, but I don't know. Something's amiss. Also, I think there's a mass exodus. Another quote that needs to be on a shirt. The meatbag one, I already forgot. Who's writing these down? We need a secretary. We need a scribe. Have a good time with your meatbag. Thank you, Daisy. Have a good time with your meatbag. That's not weird. Have a good time with your meatbag. Be a radical. So that's radical. That radical. Then radical, radicle. Like icicle. And then we got the increase or decrease the suck, increase the rad. Yeah, whoever wants to keep track of all these fantastic Americanisms, I don't know, you get like the first print of the shirt or something. I don't know. Help me. Oh, another thing. Oh, so I don't have Burdock, but I recommend Burdock. Extra. Yeah, root into your meat bag. How do I not have a TED Talk yet? I mean, really. It's not really a goal. Really, a goal is to do Moth Radio Hour and tell a story. That's an actual Lucia life goal that I should probably put forth some effort into. Which is part of why Patreon's great to have, at least for me, because I'm writing in a more structured way. For those of you who don't know, I have fancied myself quite the wordsmith at times. I have been published. It's been a long time. Rub your eraser till it's hot. Make sure you rub long enough. Which reminds me, massage. Oh, another thing I wanted to show you. Outgrowing things is sexy. Oh, cool. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I should write a book. I just want to make zines. Outgrowing things is sexy. And yo, it's probably going to be happening. So I got Boo Boo Bomb in a tube now. Thanks to our friend Brandy. And it's freaking awesome. Boop. Kinga, wake up. Kinga, come join tea time. Hi, come here. Hi. Oh, God. She's like, can't be bothered. We were out in the snow and ice and the rock salt. And then you can just put a little boo bomb on her puppy paws. How's that? Yeah. Zines is actually, yes. Yeah. I mean, and really all I mean is like some pictures and words together. Our friend Hannah is interested too. So, maybe, who can be a scribe? I don't want to use the word secretary. Manager, an organizer. Someone else to help me with all the things. Besides, Post-it notes. So we're going to write it on a green one because green means go. Zines. Can't see it, doesn't matter. It just says zines and your names and then Hannah and Taryn. Yeah. We'll connect New England, Mid-Atlantic, and California. And probably some other places. I'm sure we can find a desert babe who's into zines and stuff. Yeah, that would be a really awesome rest of winter project. All right. Well, this was super relaxed. I hope that you got anything. I mean, you did get stuff out of that. At least some great one-liners. We're building the merchandise list of Brad shit. That weed. Sorry. So, any closing questions? comments, queries, concerns, qualifiers. Thank you for coming. It does mean a lot to me. It does mean a lot to me, very much. Yeah, the next one we'll do a Zoomy thing. I don't know. I've never done it before. How hard can it be? Figure it out. Did I do it? 7:42. Okay. I love you. I care about you. I really appreciate you being here. And don't be strangers, especially all you right here. It is going to be great. We have a great time. So the Zoom meeting, so I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do 2 more tea times this month. And it's not going to be Patreon exclusive. I think I'm going to do one that's like donations suggested. And then one may be just Patreon member or patron saints, I think. But so that was a really long, verbose response to, we will see each other in a tea time for sure, no matter what. Yeah. Accessibility is super important, and I am continuing to find all the ways that I can honor myself and all of us, and especially with the collapse of most people's employments, careers, economic situations. So, and that does go for things on, like, in the store also, like bartering, adjusting. Some level of negotiation is absolutely always, all you got to do is be like, dude, you don't even have to tell me everything. Just be like, I kind of fucking need this, okay? Like, write me an email. That goes for anyone, regardless of, like, our level of knowing each other. Accessibility is super important. I would never turn someone away for fucking plant medicine because they're, like, living in this world also. That being said, if you do have resources and you do have job security and you are financially secure and stable, there are many ways not just to support me, but to support other folks who need stuff, like legit need stuff. When you go to the pharmacy marketplace, there's I think it says pass it on, and you just like give money, and that money stays there to subsidize the cost of plant medicine for folks who are in a different situation. So that's like, if you Venmo me or whatever, like, you're giving that to me. But I will be through the website, it's for people to get medicine and care. So, yeah. I also really like bartering. It's super fun. And then, so this was part of a barter, and spruce oil, and like a patch of goat fur. Oh my gosh, it was like, I would, if I didn't have to pay rent, like, that's just how I would exchange Meraki all the time with everybody. Just like trade rad fucking stuff. Maybe that'll be the part of the new world that we're gonna co-create. Dream really, really, really big. Okay. I love you. I'll see you soon.